Hey, what's up you guys? It's Zach with PCBros, and today I'm going to show you how to upgrade an Optiplex. So this particular Optiplex is a Optiplex 3020, but this video will be very helpful to show how to deconstruct and add GPUs, add RAM, clean it up, thermal paste, stuff like that. So let's get right into it. First, we're going to lay the Optiplex flat, and now that we have it flat, we're just going to take off the side panel here and put it to the side. Now we have our GPU, the R5 Again, your specs might be a little bit different. The first thing that we're going to want to do is check that CPU and see how the paste is. My guess is this old system, that paste is no good. Take out the CD drive first by pulling the tab. There's usually some sort of tab and then it just pulls right out. Now there's two SATA cables on there. We're just going to remove those and put the CD drive to the side. The next thing in the way here is the hard drive caddy. Most of them are going to have this lock system here where it is very easy. The way that they made these is actually pretty great because they compacted all this stuff into this tiny package and made it really easy to remove. Just pulling that lever and releasing. So now we can actually get to the RAM, which we're gonna check in a second, and we can remove protective like fan cover and the fan to get to that CPU. So it looks like we're going to need a Phillips screwdriver. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this plastic. The only thing keeping this cooler on is the plug. You're just going to press down and remove. It has this little like lever. You can see where the thermal paste is kind of like caked on there. It's been on there for a while. We're going to need alcohol wipes. If you do any PC stuff or tech stuff, these are really handy. You can buy the big box on Amazon. All right, so we're just gonna need one of these. We're going to reveal the CPU here. This one actually is a 4th gen i5. All right, we have removed the paste on the CPU. We're going to do the same on the bottom of this cooler. All right, so that is cleaned off. Next up, we're going to check on this RAM. There are 2 levers to push down. Going to gently remove. And I believe, yeah, these are 4 GB sticks. So this has 8 gigs of RAM, which you can upgrade it down the line. This one, I'm just gonna reseat it. 16 would make this a pretty decent gaming machine. That with the graphics card. It's actually pretty surprising how well these old systems, once upgraded and given a little bit of cleaning, can run games like Minecraft, Fortnite, Valorant, CSGO, stuff like that, like esports titles. All right, now that we cleaned off the CPU, I reseated the RAM, I'm gonna put some new paste on it, and I'm gonna go with the classic X. Now I'm going to show you how to put the cooler back on. You wanna make sure this is kind of going to the top right here. That's where the CPU plug is, on that top right. So we're gonna take the cable, we're gonna line it up. I like to keep my hand on the top and push down a little bit as I screw in. It just helps it stay into place. And what you're going to wanna do when screwing in, this is true for pretty much all fans, is alternate the screws. Give it a few turns, and then I'm gonna go to the other side. So holding it down, 2, 3, 4, and then go on the other side. This will just keep it even, and then we'll just repeat it. So that this way it's in a little bit already. Now I'm gonna go to the other 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it's pretty even from here. Now I'm gonna go back to the original ones and just screw in a little bit more. You don't wanna over screw one and all the other ones are trying to catch up. All right, last one here. We're just gonna get this all the way to the bottom. And bam, those are tight, and that is good to go. Now we take the GPU plug. It looks like there's only one way this can go, and you wanna hear a click on this one. Looks like that one's in. We're gonna take this. If you do not have that, it is perfectly fine. This just clicks right in, no screws needed. Before we get everything here, the caddy and the CD drive back in, I'm going to get the R5 and plug it into this slot here. All right, so we're going to plug it in to that main GPU slot. You wanna make sure the lever is pushed down. And we're gonna take our GPU, line it up, and push down till we hear a click and it's lined up right here. And then we push that back into place. This locks the GPU in. And now we move on to the hard drive caddy, putting that back in. So the hard drive caddy has these hooks here. We're going to go at an angle and push in the hooks into the case. just like that. And inside the case here, there's the silver standoff that's pretty tall. This is actually what locks this into place. One more thing before we lock this down, you can pull out the caddy. Now this is meant for a hard drive, but we usually put an SSD in here and usually stick it to it and put it in. We usually add a 2.5-inch SATA SSD like this. So if you were to put a SATA here, you put it in the caddy like this and have some sort of adhesive on it, keeping it in place. And then with one of the SATA, there's two different SATA you need. The bigger one that would go on this side, and then the smaller one that would go on the right. And then you'd put it back in and go that way. But I'm not gonna put a SATA in this one, just showing if you wanted to upgrade it yourself. Push it down, make sure it's unlocked, in the unlocked position when you're pushing it down. And then you lock it, and now this thing's not going anywhere. Now the DVD drive needs a SATA as well on the right, and this tinier one that goes on the left. And then you just slide in the DVD drive. Want to make sure it's flat before you slide it in, and then it should just lock into place. And then we're going to put the back on. And with a GPU, new paste, more RAM, and an SSD, you might be surprised with the power that an Optiplex can give you for gaming. But there's one last thing that we need to do to make sure this thing is gaming ready, and that is download drivers. So I'm gonna show you how to do that now. So this GPU is old, but there are still drivers that are supported. Go to the AMD drivers website here. This is the support. And then if you scroll all the way down, you'll see the R5 series, and then go to 200, and then the R5 240, and click submit. Now here you'll see that this is not supported by Windows 11, and finding the right drivers is going to be key here. It looks like there's 32-bit. You can always go back if you're not sure and download the auto detect, and usually this will do a pretty good job as well. But you want to make sure you have the latest up-to-date drivers to get the most out of this card. And then once you do that, you are ready to game on your new decked out Optiplex.